How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the PatriotDIY channel. If you've been following the channel for a while, you saw not too long ago we built a patio and fire pit in our backyard. And we thought the perfect way to complete that is with some string lights. So in this video, we're going to show you how to install string lights in your patio. If that sounds like something you're interested in, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that notification bell, and give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate that. Like a lot of people, we decided to go with 4x4 posts set into whiskey barrel planters. But I think the way that we did it is a little better than how most people do it. It's going to be a lot more sturdy and a lot stronger and last you a whole lot longer. Our system's a little bit more complex because we did decide to not only go around the patio area, but also to run those strands all the way back to the house. And I'll show you guys that in just a minute. Don't forget, guys, we are going to have links to everything in the description below if you want to check that out. Now let's get to it. Like a lot of people, we really like the look of the pole inside the planter. But the problem is, what most people do is they just fill the planter with concrete and that's all they do. And that may work out just fine until you try to put much tension at all on those lights, or if somebody leans against your pole, the whole thing's gonna fall down because that little bit of concrete in the planter just really isn't heavy enough to hold that well under those situations. The other thing a lot of people don't think about is how much tension you're putting on those electrical wires. Now, if you're going to pull these over long distances, or if you want to pull those lights nice and straight, the problem you run into is that you're putting a lot of stress on those electrical wires. So the best way to avoid that is to run steel cable. That way you're putting all the tension and the pressure on that cable, and then you just zip tie your string lights to that cable. So you get the look of them being pulled nice and tight, but you're not putting any stress on the lights themselves. All right, guys, first thing we got to do is clear out a spot to dig our holes. These don't have to be huge holes. The diameter of ours is about 10 to 12 inches, and we're going to be going about 18 inches deep. A post hole digger here makes that job a whole lot easier. And then we're ready to set our posts. We're going to be using scrap wood to make braces to hold it up, and we're going to be checking often with the level to make sure that she's nice and straight. To set our posts, we're going to be using fast setting concrete. This type of concrete is designed so that you don't have to mix it before you put it in the hole. So we're just going to pour it down into the hole, and then it suggests about 1 gallon of water per bag. Now we just need to get the rest of our posts put in. Now, to get the look of those posts being set into the planters, we're going to take our planters and we're going to cut a 6-inch hole into the bottom of them using our jigsaw. And then we're just going to drop them down over the top of each post. We will go back later and probably fill these with some potting soil and some flowers. Now, even though these are treated 4x4s, a coat of stain will help protect them even more, and it gives it a nice finished look. Now we're ready to put in the eyelets to hang our lights. We're just going to pre-drill our hole and get these screwed in. A good tip here is to slip a screwdriver into the eyelet, and that'll help you screw these in. Now we're going to go back and do the same thing over at the house. Like I said before, we are going to be running a steel cable to support our lights. To make the connection with our eyelets, we're going to be making a loop into the end of the cable and then attaching that to a turnbuckle. And right about here is where I realized that the turnbuckle I had a hook on both ends. What you actually need is an eye on one end and a hook on the other. You're just going to feed your loop in through that eyelet and then back in through your hardware. Now the way this little connector works is you just have to crimp it. Now you see me using a punch here, and after this first one I realized that that was completely unnecessary, and as long as you have a good anvil to work off of, you can just use your hammer to hit right onto these pieces. This is also going to come with a little stop that you put onto that tail end, just as a little extra protection to make sure that your cable doesn't slip through. Now before you string these up, you're going to want to go ahead and loosen those turnbuckles up a bit so that you'll have plenty of room to tighten these up later. And now we just need to string this cable up between each of our posts and then back to the house. We are going to be putting these lights under the covered portion of our back deck as well. And to connect these to the wall, we're just going to be using these outdoor light hooks from Command. And then to connect our string lights to the cable, we're just going to be using zip ties. We're going to be putting one zip tie at every light and then one in between each light. Now we just need to get the rest of these lights hung up. Now one issue you may run into when you start running these lights is the length. You may end up with some excess string lights at the end. Now that's not a problem with these type of lights. What you can do is you can just cut that excess off. You're going to want to make sure you use some heat shrink or some electrical tape to cover the cut ends so that you don't end up shorting these out. And of course, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can consult an electrician. Once we had that first strand hung up and the bulbs put in, I couldn't resist. I went ahead and turned these on, and I think they look great. I can't wait to get the rest of them strung up. And we are finally finished, and I think it looks great. We ended up stringing these lights all the way around our patio and then all the way back to our house to make a canopy of light. And I really think it turned out great. Nothing left to do but sit back and enjoy. All right guys, that's it for how to install string lights around your patio. I hope this video helped you out. If you guys have any other suggestions or anything, make sure you let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and follow our links in the description. Thanks for watching guys. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.